Shalom, Apostle Hawk coming back at you with this truth, giving all praises to Yahweh Hashem Yahushua Hashem Kakodash. And this is GMS quick hit. The title of this video is Blackouts This Summer. So what I did was, and I'll give you a couple of scriptures behind this. What I did is I went to Google, the Google search engine, and I typed in blackouts this summer. Now, they've been talking about blackouts coming this summer for the last couple of weeks. I was listening to Bloomberg radio here in New York. It's on the AM dial. It's AM, not FM. And so that's legit, financial news. And they said that there'll definitely be blackouts coming. They were focusing mostly on, from the Midwest way out to the West. And this happened some years ago out in California. They have brownouts and blackouts, controlled blackouts to conserve energy. Anyway, like I said, I typed in blackouts this summer, and this is what came up. Like I said, I'm gonna make this quick. It says Michigan might see controlled power outages this summer, meaning the power companies, what they're gonna do is they're gonna ration the power. So you have to be prepared mentally. You have to get your woman prepared. You have to get your children prepared. It doesn't hurt to, put a little bit to the side so you don't get caught up in going to supermarkets and having to knock somebody over the head to get something. There's a precept. I might not go to it, but it's in the book of Acts where it speaks about a drought. If somebody wants to put it in, I'm not going to go look for it. So they had to do things. They didn't just stand around and the Most High, gave them a plate of spaghetti. They had to do things. The Apostle Paul, he didn't just stand there. And even though the Apostle Paul had spiritual power, and the apostles had, we know at least some of them, if not all of them, but all of them got the power. The cloven tongues, that was a spiritual power. They was able to speak different languages. Now, even though they had the spiritual power, they still couldn't take over the Roman Empire. They didn't have spiritual power where they can just, turn into a damn Superman and just start flying around. And the Most High gave them the spiritual power piecemeal. So there's things you got to do. You got to go out. You got to get up. You got to, Paul, he had to, certain churches were helping him financially, but he was a tent maker. He worked with leather, making tents. So he did that. He had worked with Priscilla and Aquila. You can read about that in the book of Acts as well. You can really start at Acts 18. It speaks about that also. It speaks about Apollos, who came up under John the Baptist. You're following John the Baptist, let's call it doctrine, because it wasn't a complete doctrine. The complete doctrine came when Yahushua came on the scene. So all Apollos knew was the doctrine of John the Baptist. And there was a Priscilla and Aquila and Priscilla, guided him more into the perfect knowledge. Because you got guys out there that have some of this knowledge of this truth, but they don't have the full knowledge. That's why we say 100%. So anyway, even with them having power, even with them, definitely seeing miracles, and even Yahushua actually came to the Apostle Paul and supped with him. They still had to deal with physical things. So, you got to have that same mindset. Maybe it might be wise to get a generator. You can get a good one for about $100, $150. You got to keep your food that's in the refrigerator. You got to keep it cold. So you got to learn some of these things. You got to have this in your mind. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm just trying to prepare you to prepare your mind, because if you can deal with it, is your wife going to deal with it? Especially if she's an unbeliever. Are your children going to believe, have that confidence? If your parents are still living, you got to guide them, because they don't know what's going on. And people don't see that everything that's going on, we know the real reason why this is going on, but ultimately it's going on by way of the Most High. The devil shall come down among you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he had but a short time. He's trying to establish this new order. The fourth industrial revolution. So let me read these. I'm going to give you a couple of precepts, and then I'm going to close. It said Michigan might see controlled power outages this summer, meaning they're going to ration the power. So you might not have power for a day, then you might get it back the next day. You might not have power for 2 or 3 days, and then you get on the 4th day. If you can, get you one of them crank AM, FM radios. I have one of those where you crank it, you get batteries and stuff like that. So you got to get into that mindset, and then people get crazy because they don't know what's going to hit them. The average person out there doesn't realize what's going to happen in the very near future. And summer is what? A month away. A month and a couple of days away. So I would think this could happen sometime in July. So you got like a solid 2 months. At the same time, food prices, and they're coming out saying it on your your news, your basic news, your mainstream media, MSM they call it. That's what they're saying. They're all talking about how food prices are going up, how gas prices are going up. And there's no answer coming from the White House, from Biden. Biden hasn't said anything. The prices went down some, and then it shot right back up. Some places I passed were $5 and $5 plus for regular. Diesel. The only fuel that these truckers use for their rigs, the 18-wheelers, is diesel. You can't put regular gas in an 18-wheeler. It's not built that way. And the diesel prices are sky high as well. So it says Michigan might see controlled power outages this summer. The regional power grid operator that encompasses Michigan, and Michigan is catching hell any damn way, is projecting energy capacity shortfalls during summer months. And wherever you might live, it gets hot. You got children, you got newborns, you got toddlers, you got older people. Great tribulation, man. Jacob's trouble. All of West and much of Midwest at risk of summer blackouts, regulator warns. That's from the Washington Examiner. Bloomberg. Vast swaths of U.S. or this country at risk of summer blackouts, regulator warns. This is a vast swath of North America, from the Great Lakes to the West Coast, is at risk of blackouts this summer as heat, drought shutters power. And don't be surprised if it happens from the Midwest going towards the east. Coming this summer, this is inside climate news. Coming this summer, spiking electricity bills. So your bill, if you can get power, it's going to cost you a lot more. Plus blackouts. Electricity prices are rising in much of the country at the same time that climate change is contributing to extreme heat and a high chance. I'm not going to click on that. You can read it on your own. Get ready for blackouts this summer as unprecedented strain could affect Cali's power grid. Extreme heat, rise in demand. Arizona utilities warn of blackouts in summer ahead. This coming, we're talking about 2 months from now. Energy policy failures may lead to summer blackouts. That's the City Journal. Summer blackouts, a possibility in Texas. Fox 2 Detroit, DTE Energy promises no rolling blackouts this summer in Southeast Michigan. Well, ESO breaks his promises all the time. The Star Tribune, Midwest, including Minnesota, at greater risk of rolling blackouts. So I'm gonna leave you with a couple of precepts. So, could this be the summer that we experience Jacob's trouble? And Jacob's trouble is only going to come one time. You know, you got people that are saying, well, every time we were in trouble, it was Jacob's trouble. Nope. Jacob's trouble, we have never experienced Jacob's trouble, which also is known as Great Tribulation. Matthew 24, verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. (22nd verse). And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved, but for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. See, as soon as they, push the charagma, everything's gonna move quick. So we're hoping and praying that they hurry up and push that charagma. It said, then if any, 23rd verse, then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is a Messiah, or there, believe it not. Because you're going to have guys saying that the Messiah is over here. The Messiah is down here. He's in Florida. He's in Arizona. He's in Las Vegas. He's in California. He's in Canada. Revelation 7, verse 14. And I said unto him, Sir, thou knowest. And he said to me, these are they which came out of great tribulation, meaning the time of Jacob's trouble, and have washed their robes and made them white in the blood of the Lamb. So, for you Old Testament only Israelites, you should start really watching these One West videos, because our Messiah did come a little bit more than 2,000 years ago, and he's coming back again. You here you are waiting for the Messiah. The Messiah is already came and he's coming again. Let me do this. Let me just put in the word tribulation. And it comes up quite a bit. Let me go to Daniel. I'll leave you with Daniel 12. Daniel 12:1, and at that time shall Michael stand up, the great prince which stands for the children of thy people, and there shall be a time of trouble, which is Jacob's trouble, Jeremiah 30, verse 7, such as never was since there was a nation, even to that same time. And at that time, thy people, the Israelites, shall be delivered, every one that shall be found written in the book, or written in the Lamb's book of life. You're not going to suffer the second death. Anyway, I said this was going to be short. With that, I'm going to say shalom.